Imagine waking up tomorrow and finding an extra $500 in your bank account just because you changed one tiny habit. In the next 90 days, you could be closing deals, hitting milestones, and finally feeling that rush of progress you've always wanted. But here's the kicker. Most people sabotage themselves before they even start. They set giant, intimidating goals, then quit when the brain says, too hard. What if I told you there's a way to wire your mind so these success-building habits feel as natural as brushing your teeth? Look, if you're sick of spinning your wheels and want a proven path to momentum, stick around. Because the secret that changed everything was never about motivation. It was about creating frictionless routines that your brain executes on autopilot. Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning and before you even realize it, your body moves almost on autopilot. You grab a glass of water. You journal for 5 minutes. You knock out your most important task before 9 a.m. And by noon, you're already ahead of 95% of people in the United States. Not because you worked harder. Not because you're smarter. But because you built the kind of habits that quietly print results every single day. Now, here's the truth most people don't want to admit. You're already running on habits. The question is, are they habits that make you money, give you freedom, and build the life you want? Or habits that keep you stuck, broke, and tired? And what I'm about to share with you in this video isn't theory. It's the same framework I use to turn daily chaos into a predictable system that produces real results. And when I say results, I mean actual outcomes. Like closing an extra $10,000 in deals in a single month, just by fixing the way I ran my mornings. But here's what nobody tells you about building habits for success. If your brain thinks it's a task, you've already lost. Look, most people think building habits is about willpower. They try to force themselves to wake up at 5 a.m., to hit the gym, to meditate, to read, and within 2 weeks, they crash. Why? Because willpower runs out. But the secret that changed everything for me was realizing that habits don't stick when you decide to do them. They stick when they feel natural, automatic, almost invisible. The game isn't doing more. The game is removing friction. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't negotiate with yourself about it. You don't add it to your to-do list. You just do it. That's exactly how success habits must feel. I'll give you a story. My client Claudia was struggling to stay consistent. She wanted to grow her consulting business, but every day felt random. Sometimes she'd make calls, sometimes she wouldn't. Sometimes she'd plan her week. Sometimes she'd just wing it. The result? Zero consistency, zero momentum. We plugged her into the same system I'm about to share with you. And in 30 days, she had her first $7,500 month. Not because she learned new sales tactics, but because the habits that made success inevitable were finally in place. And here's the kicker. She told me it actually felt easier than what she was doing before. That's the paradox. Success feels harder when you don't have the right habits, and easier when you do. So let me break down the 3 big mistakes people make when they try to build success habits. Mistake number 1, they start too big. If you're trying to overhaul your entire life in a week, your brain will sabotage you. Success habits grow like compounding interest, small, automatic actions that build massive results over time. Mistake number 2, they rely on motivation. Motivation is a terrible strategy. Motivation disappears on rainy days, when you're tired, or when life punches you in the face. What works instead is structure, a framework that carries you even when you don't feel like it. Mistake number 3, they don't measure wins. If you're not tracking victories, your brain won't reward you, and you'll quit. Success habits stick when they're tied to small rewards and daily reflection. Your brain resists change because it sees actions as threats to comfort. But when you remove friction, when the cue is perfectly placed and the reward instantly satisfying, you bypass resistance entirely. For Ashley, the reward was seeing engagement spike within minutes. For you, it could be a quick dopamine hit of checking off your habit in an app or celebrating with a one-word victory shout. The key is to design that reward so your brain locks in the behavior before doubt creeps in. Now, here's the part nobody tells you. The difference between broke habits and millionaire habits isn't harder work. It's replacing friction with flow. Let me give you a curiosity loop right here. Because the single biggest habit that transformed my own life was something so small, so simple, that most people dismiss it. Hey there, I'm Mark, and I'm genuinely excited you're here investing in your growth. Before we dive deeper into today's strategy, I want to ask you a quick favor that takes just 2 seconds but makes a huge difference. If you're finding value in this content, hit that subscribe button and tap the like. It's completely free and helps us reach more people who need these game-changing strategies. Your support directly fuels our mission to help thousands transform their lives. Thanks for being part of this community. Now let's jump right back into the breakthrough strategies that are about to change everything for you. But it created a ripple effect that made every other habit easier. I'll share that in just a moment. But first, let's zoom out. The truth is, habits are not about discipline the way most people think. You don't need to become a Navy SEAL or wake up at 4 a.m. to change your life. You need a system, and this is the exact method I teach inside my mental discipline framework. The same one my students use to rewire their mornings, lock in laser focus, and make progress without burning out. Here's the small habit I promised you. Victory reflection. Every night before bed, I write down one thing I accomplished that day, even if it's tiny. Why? Because it tells my brain, you win. And when your brain feels like a winner, it wants to repeat the behavior. Sounds simple, right? But here's what happened. Within 90 days of doing this, my consistency in other areas skyrocketed. I stopped skipping workouts. I made more sales calls. I read more. Not because I forced myself, but because my brain was now wired for momentum. And that's the power of habit stacking. One habit makes the next one automatic. Now, if you're listening closely, you're probably wondering, okay, but how do I put all this together without wasting months experimenting? Here's the answer, and this is important. If you're ready to shift your mindset and build unshakable focus, we've created the Mental Discipline for Success Kit. It's a step-by-step system that gives you a proven structure for shifting your mindset toward growth, exact habit-building routines that slot into your daily schedule, clear goal focus exercises to make real progress each week, a library of new activities designed to advance you toward your personal or professional objectives. Everything is laid out in a simple roadmap you follow day by day. You don't have to reinvent the wheel or figure out what works. It's all there. You'll find the link in the description to get your kit today. And don't wait, because every day you put this off is another day you're bleeding opportunities and leaving money on the table. Now let me drive this home with another example. One of my clients, Daniel, worked in real estate. He was constantly spinning his wheels, chasing deals, but nothing consistent. He told me he felt like success was a maybe. We gave him the framework, and here's what happened. 3 straight months of hitting his targets. He said for the first time in his life, it didn't feel like he was guessing. It felt like he was following a playbook. And that's the difference. Habits don't just give you structure, they give you certainty. Do you want to know the habit that actually makes millionaires different from average earners? It's not waking up early. It's not meditating for 2 hours. It's a mental discipline practice so hidden that most people never connect the dots. I'll explain that in just a second. But first, think about this. Every day you delay building the right habits, it's costing you money. If you waste even 1 productive hour a day, that's 365 hours a year. If your time is worth $100 an hour, that's $36,500 gone. And if you're serious about your goals, that should feel unacceptable. So here's the millionaire habit. They don't negotiate with themselves. Once a system is in place, it's law. They've trained their brain to stop asking, should I, and start executing automatically. That's exactly what the Mental Discipline Kit is designed to do for you. Rewire your brain to stop negotiating, stop procrastinating, and start moving. And listen, this is critical. I only share this system with people who are serious, because half-committed doesn't work here. If you're watching this, it means you're already ahead of most, because you're seeking change. Don't waste that momentum. Let's recap. Habits for success aren't about working harder. They're about building a system where success becomes automatic. Small wins stack into big wins. Flow replaces friction. Motivation becomes irrelevant because structure takes over. Now it's decision time. You've got 2 options. Keep doing what you've been doing, hoping motivation shows up and wondering why results don't stick. Or plug into a proven framework that gives you the roadmap, the habits, and the discipline that makes success inevitable. The choice is yours, but if you're ready, the Mental Discipline for Success kit is waiting for you. The link is in the description. Get it before it's too late, because I don't keep this open forever. Imagine yourself 90 days from now, waking up, executing without hesitation, watching your bank account grow, your confidence explode, and your goals move from someday to done. That's what's waiting on the other side. So click the link, grab your kit, and let's build the habits that will change your life.